Among her many research centers, there is the National Geological Institute, whose central seismographic station at Tacubaya is the center of the seismological net of Mexico. Here, the most accurate instruments constantly record the slightest movements in the Earth, as this horizontal V-Hertz seismograph is doing, with a pendulum weighing 17 tons. Somewhere in this Earth, there was a slight quake which was registered by this sensitive instrument. Among the furrows of a plowed field, there appeared a crack in the earth, from which escaped an apparently harmless puff of smoke. Scientists proceeded to study the seismogram by means of special scales, finally locating the center of the quake near Uruapan in the state of Michoacan, just outside a village named Paricutin.
In 1943, a farmer here in the small town of San Juan was tending to his crop, like normal farmers do. And then in between his corn, a 2-meter crack opened up when he was working. Shortly after, plumes of sulfur-smelling smoke started erupting out of this crack. He ran to town and told everybody what happened. Later that night, that crack opened and started spewing tons and tons of sulfurous ash and buried the town.
A new volcano has been born in Mexico. A wondrous spectacle that modern man has never yet seen. It is truly a momentous event that amazes not only the scientists of Mexico, but of the whole world. The simple inhabitants of Paricutin, which name was also given to the new volcano, flee in amazement at the fury of the newborn.
Forward 60 years and the town looks like this. Completely covered in volcanic rock. All that's left is the Church of San Juan. Just the tower. Everything else is buried under meters and meters of jagged black stone. This is the story of Volcán Paricutin, and the city is swallowed.
This is the church and quiet village of San Juan Parangaricutiro, which we see for the last time. It was totally destroyed and covered by the devastating lava of the volcano, even though it is 5 miles away, having various intermediate terrain features which seem to offer protection.
This town of San Juan had 5,000 people, and you'd think when a volcano explodes and eats a whole town that people would die, but nobody died. Isn't that kind of weird? The eruption itself was very, very strange. So it was a crack in the ground, we talked about that already, and smoke and plumes came out, but no fire for 2 years, only tons and tons and tons of ash. The entire city was covered in ash. It gave people lots of time to evacuate. After those 2 years, the fire started. And a lava wave erupted out of the actual volcano, but was only moving about 4 feet, about a meter an hour for 8 years. So even if you're a slow runner, even if you're a turtle or a grasshopper, you can outrun 1 meter an hour. So it gave plenty of time for people to get out of the city itself. But it was slowly, over the course of 8 years, swallowed by a giant wall of burning hot lava. This tower was knocked down not by the volcano itself, but the aftershocks after the eruption. Apparently the earthquakes were so strong, people were getting knocked off their feet, and that destroyed a lot of the old architecture. Most of the houses were wood. They can handle earthquakes just fine. The lava, not so much. So the church withstood the lava mostly, well, some of it. The houses, wood houses versus lava, don't work very well. So that's why there's only this building left. This was the only stone building left in the city. Earthquakes rattled it to its core, and the rest burned because it was made out of wood from the lava wave that was coming. Slowly, but it was still coming.
The burning lava continues its destructive course, leveling everything, destroying whatever lies in its path, burning the vegetation and hurling great rocks white with heat. The lava covers the valley in such a way that it will be difficult for future generations to believe that 600 feet Underneath this chaos, formed in a few days, there was once fertile farmland.
Adventure's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. We are halfway up Volcan Paricutin, walking on basically fish gravel. We're almost at the volcanic crater, and from the top, say it's dormant, but there's still a lot of heat underground. The amount of steam coming off of this mountain is quite incredible. Put the camera on the ground and immediately completely steams up. There's so much steam coming off the ground right now. It's so hot. I gotta get my electronics off the ground. It is extremely hot. It's burnt my knee. This is what destroyed the city of San Juan.